Good afternoon from Georgia. It is a hot and muggy day out, but we hope that your camping season is getting kicked off to an amazing start. It brings up a great point that since it is the beginning of the camping season, there's so many overlooked things by newbies, but not only them, people have doing RVing for a long time make so many mistakes out on the road. So today we want to break down exactly step by step how we set up our campsite when we transition over to different parks. The muggy weather makes me want to take shortcuts. So I'm glad we have this checklist to rely back on for times when we get in those pickles of like, let's go, let's go.
Hey, you're thinking about all the fun stuff you want to do.
I am.
You know?
I want to get inside the AC. I want to get on the water. But first, we just want to do it in a safe manner so that we're not making mistakes and ending up in the shop with the RV. You know what I mean?
Having to hook up 7 times because you forgot to check something.
Well said, Nene.
Thanks.
Let's head on over to the other campsite. We'll see you guys over there. Stay tuned because we have a lot of great information coming up that's going to make things so simple for you. Let's head over there. If you want a free checklist, you got it. Head on over to HappilyEverHanks.com/class to download it now. That way you can have it, keep it in front of you, and follow along with this video step by step. Oh yeah, did I mention it's free?
All right, 10 miles till we get there. We have a little bit to cover with you guys. This is going to be some key takeaways and things you really want to embed in your brain before you even start this process. We cannot stress this enough that before you get to the campground, you want to have a plan, whether it's just you and your spouse or you have an entire family with pets. It is so important to have a plan and stick to the plan. There's 2 huge things him and I focus on that we make sure is taken care of before we start the process. And that is to have full bellies and empty bladders. And no, I do not want you guys to stop at the Golden Corral with your RV to fill up your belly. I'm just saying have a snack ready to go and treat yourself to your snack right before you get to the campground. You never want to use the phrase, let's hurry up and set up because I have to use the restroom, or let's hurry up and set up because I'm hungry. This is going to prevent so much unnecessary bickering or just full-blown arguments.
Yeah, ask us how we know.
Now, if you have children and pets or both, pay attention. A lot of families that we talk to that full-time on the road, if they have small children, the plan is to keep the pets and the children in the vehicle until the RV is parked. Some people even keep everyone in the vehicle until the whole setup process is complete. Whatever plan you decide to stick with and execute it.
See, I like what you said there because when you have everyone in the vehicle, it's nice. Everyone's in one location, it's safe, and it's cool in the car. Let alone you have all the kiddos running outside, it's hot. There's so much going on to distract you from the task at hand, which is the most important thing, setting up the RV in a safe manner.
Well said, Carl. I love that. Dexter, you're staying in the truck till we're completely done. Listen, we have less than 5 minutes till we're there. We have some great information to share with you, tips and easy ways to remember what order to do things so you don't have to constantly hook back up, move the RV, yada yada. It's gonna be so easy and you'll never forget this.
We hope you're finding this video helpful so far. Do us a favor and subscribe if you haven't already, because this helps to tell YouTube that you enjoy watching this content and you actually want to see some more of it. We couldn't do any of this without you guys, so thank you very much for all your support. Perfect example, as we're pulling in, I forgot to mention that places you usually pull into, like RV parks and state campgrounds, they usually have these check-in locations for the RVs to pull over at a safe location without blocking up other traffic, so you could get checked in and then you could proceed on into the campground. So this is a great spot if you do forget to actually grab a snack or that morning coffee that wasn't hitting at the previous campground but is now hitting pretty hard. Yeah, this is the place to finally get that addressed.
Everybody's favorite moment, backing in the rig with your spouse. Hey Siri, answer. Communication is key with this part. Big hand signals, a walkie-talkie, or a cell phone. You want to make sure you're constantly able to communicate to your driver, not just because you want to tell them where to go, but you want to be able to tell them when to stop. All right, hun, you can start backing up. You are clear, no one is coming. Looking good. Okay, start swinging it towards the other way now. Start following through. Nice, keep going like that. Okay, stop. I'm gonna have you just get out and look. Okay, two things. Did you notice the entire time he was backing up, I was behind him? I was making sure he was not gonna back up into anything. I cannot tell you how many times I have watched people back into things because the spotter, instead of standing in the back and making sure they're not hitting anything, they're standing off to the side. And it is very crucial that you're doing the job that the driver needs. It's just making sure you have eyes behind them, especially if they don't have a backup camera. The second thing to take away is this whole get out and look. Remember the acronym GOAL, get out and look. Sometimes when they're backing up and you're not sure what direction to make them go, things just get confusing. In those instances, tell your driver, hey, can you just get out and look? Because they might not be seeing what you see, and all it takes is for them to step out, do a walk around, see what you see, and then they're like, oh, okay, I know what to do. For the first time ever on our channel, you're getting first access to hear something we've created to make this process very easy. You may have heard us say many times before, don't unhook until you look. And here is an acronym we have created, so you run through a little checklist. All these things are good that tells you we can officially unhook. Are you ready for it? CLASS. C-L-A-S-S. Remember CLASS.
See, the way I like to remember is don't unhook until you look. Basically, just have some class. See, it's easier to remember it that way. Come on, I'll explain it over here. Let's just say that every site you pull into is going to be totally different. Not all sites are made the same. So taking that in mind, you're gonna follow this acronym step by step, and it is gonna help you avoid so many issues going forward. Starting off with C, that stands for connections. Are we lined up? Are we within reach of our connections? Our water, our sewer, our electric? We've been doing this for so long that we can kind of eyeball this. So I recommend if you're brand new to all of this, you bust out all of your equipment ahead of time, get it all laid out and know exactly what you're working with. But from here, our electric goes into this side port right here, and I know that we are gonna reach that pedestal. However, going down here to the sewer, I understand that a typical sewer is 10 feet in length. We have multiple sewer connections so we could connect them together, but listen, I hate doing that. It's so much extra work, so I'd rather just fix the positioning of the RV, make it easier on myself. Last but not least, water. Our water hose is so stinking long. So we got water right here, but our water hose is like 50 feet long, so we're gonna be golden there. Now you might be confused and asking, is this the part where we actually hook up all the connections if they're within reach, or are we making the adjustments now and then hooking it up? Listen, this is just looking at the situation and seeing if they're in reach. We'll hook everything up in just a minute. We have some good pointers that you want to pay attention to.
L stands for leveling. Now, a lot of rigs come with a feature called auto level, which occurs after you disconnect, and the rig does its own little fancy dance to level from left to right and front to back. But if you have a rig that you need to manually level from left to right, this is the moment where you want to make sure you do that. Now, even though we do have auto level, there are some campsites that they are just so wacky from left to right that we still need to get in there and do some manually leveling before we disconnect from the tow vehicle. Actually, let's just go check it right now while we're talking about it. Fancy. Right over your wheels is where you want to measure. Holy cow, I have never seen such a level site.
Oh yeah, she's looking real good.
Oh my gosh. This is that moment, guys, if you have those travel trailers without auto level, that you're gonna be backing or rolling forward onto blocks or those beach lane levelers. L is leveling.
In my opinion, the most overlooked part of the acronym CLASS. Awnings. A is for awnings. Yes, the RV has them. We have 2 of them. And there has been so many instances where we got parked, completely followed everything that we thought we were looking for, and just to find out that the awnings were gonna hit a tree. Make sure your awnings are in the clear. Make sure all the branches are out of the way. And sometimes if you find yourself in that pickle of not knowing how far they come out, well, just take the easy step, get inside the RV, extend them out, and just see what you're working with.
How are we looking?
Looking good.
Nothing?
Good.
All right.
We're good.
So A is good. The first S stands for slide outs. Your RV might have a bunch of slide outs and you want to know ahead of time how far they extend so they're not hitting any obstructions. We have a fun little tool that we use on the road to help us measure each slide so we know that when it comes out it's not going to hit the electrical box, the tree, even the picnic table. If you think to yourself, I'll just move the picnic table, double check that the picnic table is not bolted to the ground, because we have seen that so many times, and guess what? We had to hook up and move again.
Yeah, that's a true story.
We've been using this for a few years now. It's cheap, it's simple. You put it up against the RV and you can see right away how far each slide comes out. Some people also use a small tape measure, but I'll tell you what, having this is nice because it's not going to get lost in the abyss of the pasture storage.
I'm glad you talked about the slides, because there's something really extremely important that I wanted to mention about the slides, but we'll save that for actually unhooking. There is the final S in class, and that stands for steps. So many RVs are doing away with the diving board steps. If you don't know what those are, they're usually the ones that hover there, and they're just like the really wonky, unstable steps found in the older models of RVs. But now, RVs are coming with these new steps that actually fold down from inside the RV. These are the steps that I'm talking about. A lot of newer models are gonna come with these ones that retract up into the actual RV. They come down, but look how much room this kind of takes up. So you can see if you're parked next to a tree, or you got a stump on the ground, or maybe the cement paver actually just cuts off right here, it could add some problems. Moving on. So after going through the acronym of class, I think we actually do need to move the RV because that sewer connection, that way, I don't want to deal with all that. So
That
you
sounds
okay
good.
pulling forward and re-backing in?
Yeah, that sounds good. Let's fix it.
Let's fix it.
Nice and straight. Come back straight. How's that look now?
Much better.
What about the slide out again?
Actually, that's a good question. I don't know.
Should we double check? Yeah. Honey, go get the pole. I'm gonna make him run around, okay? I'm trying to stay cool. So you kind of have to run through class
Every time.
every time, just in case.
This is the kitchen slide here, so yeah, it looks like we're good.
We're just gonna make it. And we know the level, it's very level,
It's
this site.
level.
So our auto level will
Our
do great.
awnings are still good.
Yep.
Our slide outs are good. Final S of steps are still good as well.
All right, so we actually ready to finally unhook. Now that we're ready to disconnect from the tow vehicle, the very first thing you want to always do is chalk your wheels. Should be the very first thing you do when you get to a campsite, and it's the last thing you pick up when you're leaving. Even if your campsite is the most level campsite you have ever seen, always chalk your wheels. If you do not make a habit out of chalking your wheels every single time, then you will forget to do it when it matters most. Muscle memory. All you want to do is chalk one wheel that way, chalk the other wheel this way. Now, if you are at a campsite that is very unlevel, what we like to do is either chalk the two back wheels or the two front wheels. The reason you want to do that is if there is enough force where the RV is going to roll forward, if only one side is chalked, your RV is going to kind of do this weird cockeyed turn scary situation. Same with the backwards situation. So if there is a campsite that is very concerning, sloped a certain way, wherever gravity's going, you chalk both sides.
Now I know we have a fifth wheel, but this concept and principles are the same whether you have a fifth wheel or a travel trailer. What I'm talking about is understanding what has the load, what has the weight of the RV itself. It's either going to be the truck or the landing gear on the RV. So if you have a travel trailer, it's going to be the ton jack. If you have a fifth wheel, it's going to be the front landing gear. Come here, let me show you a little more. Now don't be scared at this part. I know it could be a little concerning. You're like, oh my gosh, what if my trailer becomes disconnected from the truck and all of a sudden everything drops? Listen, there's so many safety features in place with these modern hitches to kind of help prevent that. So you have a little bit of a safety net, but you don't want to rely on that fully. Taking a step back and just looking at it from a broad perspective, half the weight's on the RV landing gear and half the weight's on the truck. So how do I know when enough of the weight, all of the weight is on the landing gears and I'm safe to unhitch and move the truck away from the RV? Well, let me show you. Looking at the hitch, where the actual pin is locked into the hitch, you'll start to see a little gap take place. And if that's not enough reassurance, you can also look at the truck as well. As you're lifting up the RV, the whole bed of the truck will raise with the RV, kind of indicating that that weight is being taken off the truck. Once you hit that certain threshold of that spacing between the hitch, I know that the RV landing gear has all the weight. The truck does not have any of the weight. I'm safe to unpin, unhitch, and get out of the way. Now, the last thing I do want to say is when you do unhitch from your RV, make sure you always keep your breakaway cable connected. That way, just in case something goes wrong, you always have the safety reassurance to know that the emergency brake can still be engaged if need be. Let's go ahead and unhook this puppy. 10, I'm unhooking. 7-way coming out. This is a great time where I want to reiterate what we were talking about previously, where everyone stays in the truck. This is where mistakes can happen, because if you have little kiddos or puppies running around, or you don't know where your husband is, they could be in a bad situation. So when you're actually making the movement and pulling away from the RV, this is really crucial. You know where everyone is to maintain safety parameters, so to speak.
If you have those steps that make contact with the ground like we talked about earlier, you do not want to have those down and touching the ground when the RV is doing its thing to auto level. If your steps are down and they're making contact with the ground and you start auto leveling, here's what's gonna happen. These are touching the ground, your door is shut, the rig is going to start dropping. It's gonna put tension on these steps, which in return is going to completely warp this door and bend your frame and cause just unnecessary issues. Right before anyone hits auto level, always make sure that you come around here and check that these steps are up and not touching the ground. Very, very important. Now we auto level, and if your rig does not come with auto level, you have probably already leveled from left to right, like we talked about earlier, but all you would do now is level from front to back. Kind of the same process no matter what rig you have.
See, while this is auto leveling, we could start hooking up, like the connections and everything. It's go time, baby. First up, let's get the electrical running. We like to get this hooked up first because we have the capability of running our ACs and starting to cool down the rig. Now, come follow me, I want to show you something. This is the electrical pedestal that you'll find at all campgrounds, state parks, RV parks, whatever you can think of. Here, you'll notice that we have a 20 amp breaker, a 30 amp, and a 50 amp. I like to make sure that all of these are off. Why do I like to do that? Well, there's something called arcing that can potentially take place, and the way to prevent that is just to ensure that all the electrical is off, it's not flowing at this time. Hook up your connections and then go ahead and turn it on. Just keep it simple. So I'll plug in here for the 50 amp connection. We'll go hook up the RV port, and then we'll come back and flip that breaker on. Now we could go ahead and turn on that 50 amp breaker that I was talking about before. But before doing that, just make sure that if you do have a surge protector, which we definitely recommend having one, plug it in before actually plugging into the pedestal. A lot of people have the external surge protectors, which basically means that they would plug the surge protector in here and then they would plug this connection into the surge protector. We have an inline surge protector, meaning it is hardwired into the hard line of the RV. Like our electrical that runs throughout the RV, we installed it, and every time we plug in here, it has to run through that surge protector, get okay, and then it powers the rest of the RV. Plug her in, flip on the 50 amp connection, we're ready to rock and roll. Now I have some important things I want to mention here about the water you're going to want to pay close attention to, because they are some tricks of the trade. I'll explain what I mean here in just a second. Grab your water hose, grab your water pressure regulator, and anything else you want to hook up, and let's go do this. Here's the water spigot that's located at the campground. I have this 4-way water splitter. It just makes it easy for me if we need to have other connections to hook up to, like if we do a black tank flush for our black tank or any other spray ports that we need to utilize. So I'll hook this up. Now this is where you're going to want to pay close attention. Something that took us a long time to learn is air pockets within the hose. This is a great time to go ahead and like flake out the hose by basically meaning extend it all the way out and then turn on the water and allow the water to push all the air out through the hose. Why, you might ask? Great question. The reason being is because if you don't do this and you go inside and start washing dishes or brushing the teeth,
Standing over here before you.
Man, when you go turn on the water faucets, you're in for an awakening for sure, because all of a sudden you'll have running water and then it's like psh, 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 you know, and it's just like really annoying. Water's kind of spraying everywhere. So flush the air out and then you'll just have flowing water that you're looking for. Now that the air's out, let's go hook her up. Make sure you're also hooked up to city water. That means you're hooked up to the spigot at the campground. You have a water source coming into the RV and you're not relying on the RV's water pump. If you are relying on the RV's water pump, that's called dry camping, and then that is a setting in itself. But for just all intents and purposes, keeping it simple, we just got to turn this one dial here and notice it says city water, and now we're running off city water. This is that 10-foot connection I was talking about. Get a couple of these if you decide to RV a lot, because you just never know when the sewer connection is just out of reach and you can't do anything except hook up more hoses. More hoses equals more happiness. What I like to do, I always just have some hand sanitizer here just for some peace of mind. Also, I like to open up the gray tanks and leave those open because we like to do laundry, and when we take showers, those tanks get filled up really quickly, so you're okay to leave the gray tanks open and have them continuously drain into the sewer. However, the black tank, leave that puppy closed until you're ready to dump. Good to go.
So this seems like it's taking a while, but while he's doing all the connections, I am doing this next step, which is putting the steps down and going in and making sure I can put the slides out. So it flows a lot more smoother than it seems. Before you extend your slides, you want to do a walk around on the outside, you want to let your partner know, and you want to go on the inside and look around them as best you can to make sure no objects have fallen and gotten stuck. When these puppies are going, they're going, and they will break or crush whatever is in their way. If you have small children or any pets, you want to keep them away from the RV until after all the slides have been opened and extended. Unfortunately, we heard a horror story where somebody's little kitty cat was running around the RV while they were extending the slides, and they went behind it and they got crushed. Don't even go there. Don't let this happen. Don't give it an opportunity to happen.
Hey, since I'm here and we're all hooked up already, I'll stand out here, watch the slides being put out. I'll communicate if anything goes wrong.
Ooh, I like that. Okay.
I knew you would.
Hey, the slides are out. You are officially good to set up the campsite however you want. Get your chairs out, get the fire going, kick the husband out to the lake so you can enjoy some peace and quiet with the kids and the pets. Listen guys, we appreciate that you stuck around and watched this video all the way through. We would love it if you gave this video a thumbs up. You could even do it on the TV if you're watching through the TV. Thank you so much for all your love and support. We'll see you next week.